The cool evening air caressed my skin as I sat in the backyard, deep in thought. The hot tub's gentle bubbles created a calming contrast to the house's unusual silence. The place usually thrived with energy, especially during one of Lillian's legendary parties. Tonight, it was just me, relishing a glass of wine I had stolen from the fridge. I'm John. At 22, just graduated, and back at home, searching for my path. It's not perfect, yet it offers moments like this quiet evening that make it worthwhile. I was wrong. The sliding door creaked open, shattering my thoughts. Lillian emerged, flanked by a few friends. They giggled softly, drinks in hand, radiating joy. They found me quickly. "John, why are you out here by yourself?" Lillian called out, her playful tone familiar and comforting after all these years. I shrugged, uncertain of how to reply. I never anticipated her arrival. As they approached, I saw the bikinis beneath their robes. They clearly had intentions for the hot tub. A friend of Lillian's, I believe her name was Nora, smiled at me. "Join us," she urged, her voice playful yet inviting. Before I could react, Lillian was there, taking the wine glass from my hand. Her eyes glinted with mischief. "Come on, don't be shy. It will be a blast. The water's perfect tonight." I hesitated, caught between excitement and fear. Their gazes weighed heavy, making refusal impossible. After a brief pause, I nodded and stood up. Nora, Lillian, and Riley giggled as they shed their robes and sank into the warm water. Their laughter echoed through the night, warm and irresistible. I lingered at the edge, a moment of uncertainty washing over me. Lillian glanced at me, her hand resting on the space next to her. "Dive in, the water's perfect," she said, winking playfully. I finally gave in and stepped into the hot tub. The warm water wrapped around me, melting away hidden tension. I nestled into my place, sharply conscious of Lillian next to me. "Relax," Riley urged, her voice gentle and reassuring. "Let's enjoy every moment together." Lillian passed me another glass of wine, her fingers lingering on mine, a fleeting spark igniting between us. The warmth of the water, the alcohol, the company. I began to feel a sense of ease wash over me. Laughter echoed as the conversation danced, each splash a joyful note. Yet, underneath, a palpable tension lingered, impossible to overlook. Sometimes, I'd notice one of them staring at me, their expression a mystery I couldn't unravel. With each passing minute, Lillian inched closer to me. Her shoulder brushed against mine as she spoke, her hand resting on my arm, lingering just a moment longer. I acted calm, but my heart raced wildly. Nora and Riley watched us, their smiles challenging me to act. I remained frozen, lost in uncertainty. The atmosphere crackled, alive with an indescribable energy. Lillian leaned in, her warm breath brushing my ear. "You seem tense, John," she whispered. "Let us help you unwind." Her words chilled me to the core. Nora and Riley drew near, their eyes fixed on me. Nora smiled, her lips curving, and my stomach flipped. The warm water, the wine, their closeness, everything felt hazy. Lillian's lips grazed my cheek, a teasing whisper of warmth. Nora and Riley shared a quiet laugh. The tension surged with each fleeting second. The outside world vanished. This moment was everything. The heat, the closeness, the unspoken promises between us. Lillian's hand glided down my arm, her touch intentional and charged. This had crossed a line into something serious. Nora and Riley shared knowing looks, their laughter warm and inviting. Lillian's next whisper left me breathless, my thoughts scattered. "We've waited for this," she whispered, her words stealing my breath away. The water embraced us, warm and inviting, yet it paled against the rising heat among us. Lillian laughed softly, leaning in as she playfully nudged my shoulder. Nora and Riley were now intimate, their hands roaming, their lips softly grazing my skin. I was utterly engulfed. The laughter and warmth of the moment surrounded me, creating an unforgettable atmosphere. It was breathtaking in the most beautiful way. Nora leaned closer, her hands gliding up my chest as our lips met. Her lips were soft yet assertive, and I instinctively kissed her back, my hands gravitating to her waist. Riley was there, her fingers gliding down my arm, her lips softly grazing my jaw. "Text, you deserve this," she whispered, her gaze locking onto mine, a mix of playfulness and intensity. Lillian leaned back slightly, her eyes deep and brimming with longing. She smiled warmly, her eyes filled with understanding and humor. "Are you loving this?" she inquired, her voice a seductive whisper. I was silent, lost for words to respond to her. I nodded, heart racing as her lips softly pressed against mine. As the kiss deepened, Lillian's hand found my thigh, filled with intent. Realizing her purpose, I moved to assist her, and before I knew it, my swimwear was gone. The warm water on my skin was pure exhilaration. I took a deep breath and moved forward. I touched Lillian's body, carefully easing her out of her swimsuit. Nora and Riley joined in, and soon we were all exposed in the bubbling water. Their bodies captivated me, each one a stunning expression of beauty. Lillian's curves, Nora's strength, Riley's elegance. Overwhelming beauty in every glance. A rush of emotions surged within me as I enjoyed the peaceful ambience of the evening. I tasted, I touched, I explored. First Lillian, then Nora, finally Riley. Every experience is unique. Every moment sears into my memory. I stood up, the cool night air sharply contrasting the warm water. Lillian and Nora drew near, their intense gaze locking onto me, leaving me dizzy. Their mouths brought a sensation I had never felt before. The pressure surged until I could no longer contain it. I sighed, surrendering, as relief surged through me. As the moment faded, I submerged, caught between exhaustion and exhilaration. As night fell, a serene calm enveloped everything. The hot tub bubbled softly, the earlier chaos now a distant memory. Lillian stepped back slightly, her hand lingering on mine, but her gaze had shifted, revealing something new. Gentle and calm, Nora and Riley sat in silence, smiles on their faces, savoring the warmth of the water. The thrill faded, leaving us in the warm embrace of what had just happened. Lillian sighed, her smile gentle yet profound. "That was fun," she whispered, her voice a soothing warmth. "We must do this again soon." Nora and Riley nodded, their playful smiles lingering, yet a sense of peace enveloped them. They emerged from the hot tub, towels wrapped tightly, laughter spilling softly as they made their way inside. Lillian was the last to go, casting a final glance back, her eyes sparkling. "Good night, John," she whispered, then vanished into the night with her friends. I lingered in the hot tub, the warm water wrapping around me like a comforting embrace. My heart raced, yet I understood it was over. That night was a whirlwind, intense and unforgettable. Leaning back, eyes closed, a smile crept across my face. Tonight changed everything. I felt a mix of nerves and excitement for what lies ahead. I had no idea. This summer would redefine everything. The next morning, I awoke with a dull headache and a rush of memories from the night before. For a brief instant, I questioned if it was merely a dream. Hot tub, Lillian, Nora, Riley. Felt impossibly surreal. As I awakened, the truth hit me. It was real, truly authentic. Silence enveloped me as I descended the stairs. I expected to see Lillian in the kitchen, but it was silent and empty. A note on the counter drew my attention. "Out for brunch with the girls. I'll return soon. L." Relief washed over me. I wasn't ready to see Lillian yet. I needed time to understand it all. With each sip of coffee, memories of last night flooded my mind. Lillian's gaze pierced through me. Nora's lips against mine. Riley's gentle caress. Everything felt so alive. Now, under the harsh light, guilt pierced through me. Lillian was a longtime family friend, someone I had always respected. Nora and Riley were her friends. What have I done? The front door creaked open, pulling me from my reverie. Lillian entered, radiating freshness and calm. Her smile lit up the moment she saw me. Yet, a flicker of something deeper shone in her eyes. Feeling anxious? Thrill? Morning, John, she said, her voice light. Did you rest well? I nodded, words escaping me. Lillian poured herself a cup of tea. The silence thickens, suffocating us both. At last, she looked at me. She started with, "About last night," and my heart raced. "I hope you feel at ease." Couldn't believe it. Absolutely not. Just fine. I'm just shocked. Lillian's smile warmed. It was unexpected, if that's what you're wondering. It happened. We spoke briefly, but it changed everything. Lillian promised me that Nora and Riley would keep it private. What happened in the hot tub remains our secret. She made it clear. No regrets, but she understood if I wanted to forget it all. Did I really want to act like it never occurred? With each passing day, that night consumed my thoughts. Lillian's touch lingered within me. The echoes of Nora's voice lingered. The sweetness of Riley's kiss. It burned into my memory. A week passed, and life felt normal again. Lillian and I slipped back into our routine, silence hanging heavy over that night. A tension lingered in the air. An electric energy suddenly ignited. That evening, everything shifted once more. A soft knock at the door interrupted my work on the laptop. Lillian peeked in, her nerves palpable. "John, we need to talk." I nodded, shutting my laptop as she entered and perched on the edge of my bed. She wore a silky robe, and memories of that night in the hot tub flooded back. "I've been thinking about that night," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "Would you be open to exploring this further?" My heart raced. "What are you saying?" I asked, knowing the answer already. Lillian leaned in, her hand gently on my knee. "If you're open to it, let's explore what this could become. Only us this time." I knew I had to say no. She was my stepmom, after all. The memory of her touch, the look in her eyes, impossible to resist. I acknowledged my own words. Let's find out what happens next. A night of exploration and discovery unfolded. Lillian and I explored, discovering what made each other gasp and moan. It felt distinct from the wild energy of the hot tub night, more subdued. Closer. Afterward, Lillian traced delicate patterns on my chest. "Text, this alters everything," she whispered. I nodded, accepting her truth. Our relationship changed forever, and we can't return to what we once had. In the coming weeks, Lillian and I established a new rhythm. Throughout the day, we upheld our usual stepmom dynamics in the relationship. Yet, in the quiet of night, we uncovered a deeper layer of our bond. It went beyond the physical. We opened up, revealing parts of ourselves we had kept hidden. I discovered her history, her aspirations, her anxieties. She heard my fears about the future, my dreams, my doubts. One night, as we lay intertwined, Lillian leaned on her elbow and gazed at me with intensity. "John, I need to ask you something," she said, her voice trembling. "Anything," I said, intrigued by her unexpected intensity. "What if you included others more often?" My eyes widened in shock. "Are you referring to Nora and Riley?" Lillian agreed. "They've been wondering where you are. They seem eager to relive that unforgettable night in the hot tub." I paused to reflect. The idea thrilled me, yet a pang of jealousy struck at the thought of sharing Lillian. "We don't have to," Lillian said swiftly. Seeing my hesitation, "I'm content with just us. Variety can be exciting." I embraced her tightly, our lips meeting in a passionate kiss. "Let's try it," I said as we finally pulled away. "You'll always be my top priority." Lillian's smile lit up the room. She whispered, "In your mind." Next weekend, Nora and Riley arrived for Lillian's so-called private party. The nervous energy of that first night faded, giving way to thrilling anticipation. We began in the living room. Soft music, wine in hand, our flirtation ignited. Clothes fell away, and hands roamed freely. This time I felt stronger, empowered. I led the women to the bedroom, where we lost ourselves for hours in exploration and pleasure, every combination igniting passion. As night deepened, I was struck by the uniqueness of each woman. Lillian burned with passion and intensity. Nora radiated joy and embraced every adventure. Riley exuded warmth and allure. They crafted an experience that surpassed my wildest dreams. In the stillness that followed, as we caught our breath, I understood my life had shifted in ways I never imagined. Looking into Lillian's eyes, filled with love and desire, I realized I wouldn't change a thing. Months passed, and our unique arrangement endured. Lillian and I stayed close, our bond deepening every day. Nora and Riley occasionally joined us, igniting excitement and fresh energy. It was far from easy. Jealousy, doubt, fear, moments that pierced the heart. What if they discovered the truth? What if one of us fell for someone else? We navigated the choppy waters with care, prioritizing open and honest communication. One unforgettable night, after Nora and Riley departed, Lillian and I cuddled on the couch. She faced me, her look intense. "John, I have to tell you something," she said, her voice shaking. My heart raced. Is this all there is? Was she about to walk away? "I think I'm falling in love with you," she whispered. Relief washed over me, instantly followed by a wave of emotion. "Lillian," I whispered, cradling her face in my hands, "I've loved you for a long time." That night, we made love with an intensity that ignited our deepest emotions. In each other's arms, we whispered dreams of tomorrow. Our relationship was unique, and we knew many wouldn't get it. We were determined to succeed. As summer faded, we embraced a new reality. To everyone else, we remained merely stepmother and stepson. In secret, we were everything: partners, lovers, confidants. Nora and Riley lingered in our lives, more like fleeting moments of flavor than a constant presence. On a crisp autumn evening, Lillian smiled at me as we watched the sunset from the back porch. "Text, you know?" she said, her eyes sparkling with mischief. That night in the hot tub changed everything. I laughed, embracing her tightly. Neither did I, but I'm thankful it happened. The sun set, casting orange and pink hues across the sky, and I pondered the journey of the past months. That unexpected night in the hot tub sparked a whirlwind of discovery, pleasure, and love. The future felt uncertain for us. Challenges lie ahead. Holding Lillian close, her warmth enveloping me, I realized we could conquer anything together. The night air chilled, yet we stayed outside, rooted in silence. We sat together, wrapped in each other's arms, cherishing the moment and the hope of countless more. As stars emerged in the darkening sky, I whispered a wish. Not for change, but for things to remain as they were. I found everything I never knew I wanted, against all odds. It began with a surprising night in a hot tub.